Inspector summary video. Here we are in Brookline. We got a fire escape here. It's in pretty sad shape, not to be used. It's got needs emergency repairs. Let's start off first with the easiest. Some evidence of maintenance, but the evidence of maintenance that I have with these hex head bolts indicate that they changed the bolts, but they didn't take out the rust. We got a lot of spalling. This thing is shifting, it's falling, and it's pulling away from the building. I'll show that. Cracking. So a new set of stairs needs to be made for here. All the original ones can be remodified and refurbished to be in good order. So let's talk about the confidence test. At this time, fire escape is not certifiable as per the building code. You examine, test, or certify. So this is the examination. This fire escape is not able to be tested in its current form. That means a low test. And it's not able to be certified in its current form because we got evidence of damage, we got evidence of rust, connections, and spalling. Let's start here. Let's start with the spalling. This whole thing is through rust jacking. We've got the whole corner blown out. We've got this corner blown out, and this is starting to blow it out here. And through ice jacking, I'm not only getting the rust jacking, blowing it all out, but then I'm getting the ice jacking that is going all the way across there. So that's not rust jacking, that's ice jacking that way. And here we got an evidence of a huge crack coming down here. So we need a mason here to deal with this situation because the whole wall needs to be arrested from further deterioration. This down here, it's the same thing. Look at all these rusty tiers coming down on both sides. And rust jacking did this, but ice jacking is doing this. It's another structural crack going down the whole length of the wall. So that has been photographed and that is there. So now let's go into steel. We've got a platform here that's ready to collapse. We've got rust in the connection and it's separating, and we only got one bolt holding it, and that bolt is full of rust. And it's a fairly new bolt in that it's 10 plus years old, let's say, but they never removed the rust, so this thing is ready to drop. All original hardware, evidence of rust in the connections, missing bolts, and welded connections. These welded connections can only be x-rayed or load tested to verify them, but as soon as I blow a hole through and put a bolt, we're good. Same thing on the other side. Original hardware, evidence of rust in the connection. These tubes are all rotted through inside, so we need to see how much the thickness is and stop the water from getting back in here. And if they're rotted, they need to be replaced. We got evidence of rusty tiers on all the treads. Rusty tiers. All these treads got rusty tiers coming down. Whoever changed these bolts never took out the rust. As evidence here, all of them. And then going back through here, this tread here is the biggest one. Look, half an inch of rust in there. So if there's any training, somebody steps on this one, it's definitely going to fall. That one's going to fall. Look at all the rusty tiers coming out. So 100% of all the treads need to be rebolted. Even though it shows that somebody rebolted it before, but they did a bad job in that they didn't remove the rust and then seal it with silicone. Rust jacking and ice jacking, they've got the steel buried in the ground, and it's just popping this whole thing. So this thing needs all to be refurbished, and we need to stop the cement from getting water to the steel. We also got this railing, and this railing, as you can see, is not, they had welded, but all the welds have popped, and all the previous bolts, instead of rebolting and sealing it like they did before, they basically just closed it, and they need to put these all back. It's rotted right here where it ties, so this will not pass a lateral load test. We got accumulation in the back. It ate the steel. I can put my fingers through there. See, it ate all that steel. So we need to get all this addressed. We got debris constantly accumulating and getting into the cracks and crevices, and that is what's popping all your bolts. You see how much debris is coming off of this on every rain shower. And this is that rusted connection from above. All welded connections need to be verified. This is all welded and rusted here. This all needs to be reconnected. This is that bad cement from above. This is that spalling corner from above. This is all the debris that's falling into that angle. Nothing holding it on the left, and only one bolt holding it on the right. We got poorly welded railing tops. These all need to have a strap so we can bolt here and bolt here. We can't guarantee welds without a load test or an x-ray. Otherwise, the only thing we can render is an opinion letter, and the opinion letter comes with a disclaimer. The disclaimer says, to the best of my information, knowledge, and belief, the fire escape is in conformity with the Mass Building Code today. So if you want guarantees, guarantees come in the form of certification or in the form of a load test. So we can spot repair this fire escape and load test it completely and lateral load test it. That'll get you a guarantee. Or we can refurbish the entire fire escape and we avoid the load test because we certified. Mass Building Code 1001.3 says examine, test, or certify. Certification means refurbish 100%, and that will get you a confidence test with no disclaimers. This area is used for training. Men use this over here to get to do the basement entry, I believe, and then men come here and they jump 2 feet down. So this is an emergency situation here. This fire escape is not to be used until emergency repairs take effect or full refurbishment. So again, the options here is you can spot repair this fire escape and then provide an opinion letter that holds the engineer harmless from any liability or lawsuits. It's called an opinion letter. We can do a spot repair and load test it, and that will get you a guarantee letter. And again, we can only load test a fire escape that has no internal rust anywhere and it's connected properly into the building. And the last thing is we can refurbish the entire fire escape to avoid the load test. Connections here, we're going to have to use epoxy because we can either repack that in and repack this one in and avoid the load test portion of it that related to the building, or we can do an epoxy bolt there, an epoxy bolt there, or do an angle here with an epoxy bolt, 2 or 3 epoxy bolts, tie it back to these, seal that up, seal this up, and then have it fixed by a mason who has this entire corner to deal with. So this is a 2-part. An iron worker needs to be here and a mason needs to rebuild this whole corner. Any questions? This is Fire Escape Engineers. 866-649-0333. 866-649-0333. All this work does require a permit. All this work requires that regarding the paint must be a licensed renovator and follow EPA guidelines subject to lead paint rules. Again, Cisco Manessis here, Fire Escape Engineers, 866-649-0333.